I don't like how I did that. We need to do that again. Hi guys, I'm Amy. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a book haul for all of you. It's been a little while since I purchased these books because I definitely have acquired more since these came in. So you guys can look forward to another book haul very soon. But I got these books from a variety of different places online because we're not going anywhere and nothing's open. But if you guys are interested to see the books that I have recently acquired, then go ahead and keep on watching. We'll quickly just mention these two books. They are the Bloomsbury 20th anniversary Harry Potter editions that have been coming out every July, and somehow I missed last year. So here I have two copies of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. These are the Hogwarts House editions. Of course, Aaron's a Slytherin and I am a Hufflepuff. And these are just really fun, beautifully published books that have extra bonus material in them, and we've been collecting them and will continue to do so. So in a few months' time, I'm sure you'll see the Order of the Phoenix popping up, but they're really beautiful. I get them from Book Depository, of course, because I'm in the States, but yeah, very happy to have gotten these. I may or may not have been perusing the proverbial shelves of Book Outlet and decided to pick up Vida Nostra by Marina and Sergei Dachenko and translated from the Russian by Julia Metov-Hershey. I'm sure most of you are familiar with this book. I think it came out last year or the year before, I'm not sure. And a lot of people have really enjoyed it. This is a somewhat fantasy-like book in which there's a magical school that has some underhanded things potentially happening there. I'm really looking forward to it and always enjoy a good translated book. So I'm really ready to see what the buzz is about in regards to this book. I'm sure most of you are probably sick of me talking about this author, but I will not apologize because I'm not done yet, nor do I really ever plan to be. But I picked up the last book by Claire Fuller that I have not read or own, and that is Our Endless Numbered Days. This was her debut book, and this is about an 8-year-old girl named Peggy whose survivalist father just kind of ups and takes her into the woods one day and then tells her that the world has ended. And so they struggle to get by, but all of this starts to unravel when Peggy finds these boots in the woods and tries to find out who they belong to. And I do believe she ends up back in civilization and back in the real world, but this just sounds fascinating. And if it's half as good as any of other Claire Fuller's books, I know I'm gonna really like it. I also picked up a second book in the series, and that is Serpent in the Heather by Kenyon. This is a Dark Talents novel. The first one is called At the Table of Wolves. This is a world in which we're right on the cusp of World War II, and after and during World War I, this event occurred called the Bloom, in which people started having these magical abilities that they didn't have before. And our main character, what's her name? Kim? Yes, Kim Tavistock is one of these people that are called talents, and her talent is that she has this spell. So people tell her secrets whether they mean to or not, and sometimes they're big secrets and sometimes they're not so big. But I really enjoyed the first one. I thought it was a lot of fun and figured let's continue on with the series. I also bought a book for my local book club, which we have not been able to meet for yet, so I have not yet read the book. But the book that was selected that I am very nervous about is The Woman in the Window by A.J. Finn. I know a lot of people really love this book, but I don't tend to be. I'm not a thriller reader. Let's just call it like it is. And I'm a bit anxious about it. I'm not sure when we'll finally get around to meeting again and reading, but this will be read at some point, and it will be very interesting to see how it goes. When all of the world started falling apart back in March, I was watching a lot of videos, like I'm sure a lot of you guys have been, about books that other booktubers were recommending as comfort reads or fun reads, and I saw Juan from Just One Reader talk about this book, and this is not the first time I've heard him talk about this author, but it was just one of those moments where I was like, I need to get on board. So I picked up Blanding's Castle by PG Woodhouse. He is a comedy writer from... he was born in 1881 and in 1955 became an American citizen, and this is about a lord who's easily distracted and has a lot of quirky people living in his castle. It sounds like a great time and, you know, uplifting things I could go for right about now. So really looking forward to getting to this one. A book that I have already read and talked about in one of my wrap-ups is The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart by Holly Rheinland. I'm sure most of you, again, are very familiar with this book as it is very popular, and this is about a young girl. She's a young girl at the beginning of the story, but we do kind of watch her grow up a little bit, who loses her parents in a tragic accident and goes to live with her grandmother, who she didn't know existed, that owns a flower farm. I'll just go ahead and leave it at that because, like I said, I'm sure most of you are familiar with it, but it is a really, really beautifully published book and a beautiful story itself, and I would definitely recommend it. The indie press that was chosen for the Indie Press Project in April was NYRB, and I picked up 2 books for that. I only ended up reading one, and that was The Dead Avocado by Elaine Dundee. This I've already done a full review on. I will link it for you guys if you haven't seen that yet, but I really enjoyed it. It's about a young American woman going to live in Paris for a few years in the 1950s, and I really enjoyed it. And then I also picked up a nonfiction title from NYRB that I haven't gotten to yet, and that is Huns and Rebels by Jessica Mitford. This is the autobiography of Jessica Mitford, who was part of the Mitford family, who I know nothing about other than that they were kind of a big deal. And I would really like to get to this one sooner rather than later, because it does sound fascinating. And this family just seems like one I could get to know a little bit and enjoy getting to know a little bit. Another book that I wrapped up in the same wrap-up as The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart was Lovely War by Julie Berry. I loved this book so much. This is a World War I story. It's a love story being told by Aphrodite, and if you aren't reading it or haven't read it, you should. And I think we're just gonna leave it there. We'll just leave it at that. You can check out my wrap-up if you want to know more, where I gush about it and tell a little bit more about the story, but it was definitely worth my time. The last book I have to share with you is the book that I'm currently reading for week 2 of Quarantine-a-thon, and that is The Book of Essie by Megan McLean Weir. This is the story of a 17-year-old girl named Essie who's pregnant, but what's really interesting about the story is that she has grown up on this reality TV show. Her father is a pastor, a very conservative pastor that is the head of this mega church, and it's about how the TV show and her mother decide to deal with her pregnancy. So far I'm enjoying it. There's a lot going on, but you guys can look forward to my wrap-up very soon, I would think, because I'm currently reading it. Alright guys, there you have it. There are some of the new books I've added to my shelves, and like I mentioned, there is another haul that I'm sure will be coming very shortly, because I wasn't done shopping, apparently. But if you guys have read any of these books, please let me know what your thoughts were, good, bad, or otherwise. Or if you're interested in any of them now, let me know that as well. Or if you'd like to buddy read any of them with me, I would love to do all of those things. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. And if you loved it, please subscribe. And we will see you in my next video. Happy reading!